Screw Google.
Freaking snow. What?
Screw Google.
No, I was going to intro.
Okay, well, you intro.
Google. I was going to say holy freaking snow. It's like, it hasn't stopped snowing since Saturday.
Yeah,
and it's
winter in Canada, or at least in Ontario this year, was very, psych. And then it was just like here.
Slow, and then just like, yeah.
Yeah.
What
I
about
also,
Google?
listen, I want to, I'll tell you about Google in a second here. I need to prerequisite this. I'm going to sound worse than usual. I'm going to sound echoey. No, I'm going to sound echoey. I'm just going to say it's not going to be nice sounding audio. I just,
Yeah. For those that aren't audio snobs like myself, I see no difference.
Well, no, yeah, but you will in the final, because I can hear myself reverbing around. No, we're in the process of moving, and so
we as in you, not me,
right? And so my regular sound treated space is not as sound treated as I would like it to be. And so it's echoey. Yeah. But I am excited because once the move happens and a new studio is set up, and then, presumably we record in person more often, I'm already mapping out the studio. Like there's a bunch of acoustical foam, more than what I have right now, on the way, and it's going to be, like the table with the, and the sound treated space with we're going to sound good. It's going to be good.
Yeah. It'll be fun.
Yeah. But also screw Google.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So here's the thing, right? So right now I live in the city, in the greater Toronto area, which is a big ass area.
The GTA, if you will.
Yeah. Big area. And I've lived here for 4.5-ish years. And I've gotten to know sort of the immediate area fairly well. But I will still occasionally, depending on where I'm going and coming to, whatever, the highways are a little weird, and sometimes, depending on what time of day it is and traffic and whatever else, I'll throw Google Maps on, right? Because I'm like, oh, well, maybe Google Maps knows something I don't. It's going to take me to a different spot.
Right. Road closures,
a different
traffic,
route.
Something.
Yeah, it'll be like, oh, there's actually a better route because of traffic, an accident or whatever. And so last night I was coming home from actually being up in your area for not even 48 hours. And I'm just past the halfway point coming home. Right. And I'm on the phone with Brienne, and Brienne's like, well, how far out are you? And I'm like, well, I don't know. Give me a second, and I'll punch it into my phone, and yeah, and I'll find out how far away I am. Right. And what I do is I just open up my Google thing. I type in, the 3-digit street address and whatever, and then search that. And I never search the city because, I just go such and such street, and then it always pops up. Well, and I've done that well over 100 times.
Right.
Well over 100 times I've punched that in to the point where all I have to do is now put in the first digit, and then up pops the rest of the address. Okay, cool, great. And Google being the all-knowing, we track your data, we save your stuff, we know where you've been, we know where you're going, we know, all this stuff. Great, cool, whatever. Sometimes it's creepy, but also handy, so we overlook the creepiness. Well, a little further than the halfway point in between where you live and where I live, there's a city called Orangeville. And it turns out that there is the identical address, same digits and same street name. No, I didn't. I was passing through Orangeville anyways. I had already just gone through Orangeville. But it's the exact same street address, street name and everything, except Orangeville instead of Mississauga. And so, and depending on where I am geographically, because in that moment I was closer to Orangeville, when I searched my street address and went go, it popped up the Orangeville one.
Right.
And I'm just like, Google, how many hundreds of times have I not only searched this address, but then clicked navigate and completed this trip? And of those 100 times, how many times have I been going to the Orangeville one?
But you were in Orangeville.
Wow. But still, it's Google. Google should, like, I have some sort of weird fetish for this address, and it doesn't matter what city I'm in. I just do, that's the address. No, it knows where I want to go. Stupid. Hello and welcome to the Movie Men Podcast.
We are the B Team.
My name is a very disgruntled Brady.
And I am not disgruntled Carl.
Well, that's good. We're batting a 50% average then.
Here we go.
And we're back. Oh man, I hear myself echoing. I hope it doesn't come through as much.
I don't hear it at all.
Well, no, but you're like through a call, and it's just I'm not happy with it.
I'm not fine.
It feels like a regression in audio quality. I don't sound as good as I used to, but I also don't sound...
When you're the one building something, like people who build stuff like that are really finicky, they'll be like, no, I sanded down this edge too much. It's rounder than this one. Nobody's going to notice but that person.
Yeah, but I mean, you take pride in your work, man. I remember...
Yeah, that's true.
You know Mike Krotz?
Yeah, I know.
I remember, listen, this is a great story. This is a great story for anyone who's ever doing anything. I was helping him years ago, probably like 10 or so years ago. He was putting a big garage addition on his house. Mm-hmm. And so I was there helping him do some framing, right? Like miserable weather. I don't know if it was like late fall or early spring or whatever. It was just sucked out, right? Not having fun. And I was there and I was helping him do some framing, and we were framing it all with nails, right? We were hand driving in nails.
Okay.
And there was a spot where I had to put a nail through a board and into an LVL, like a laminated, like, solid piece of wood.
Okay.
Right? And so the nails can be like, they don't glide through like butter the way they do with just like some spruce 2x4 stuff. And the nail bent. Mm-hmm. And it bent beyond what, was straightenable and whatever. And so I just, like, what I think most people would do, just whacked it flat against the board and then went to put another one in beside it. Because you're not going to see this. It's going to be covered in siding and drywall and whatever. This is the frame. And Mike made me sit there and pull at it and pry at it and get this stupid nail out instead of leaving it in, even though you'd never see it. And he explained to me that even though no one will see it, that there's value in taking pride in the work that you're doing, and that if you allow yourself to cut these corners and do whatever, once you do it once, you're going to keep doing it, and you're going to, and it's like this whole, it was like like the guy tried to TED Talk me.
It sounds like he succeeded.
But he succeeded. He did, and it was a great life lesson.
He didn't try, he did.
So I'm aware, even if it's barely noticeable to the listener, I'm aware of it, and it's upsetting me. But know that come March, the show will sound better than it's ever sounded, because we'll have
the full studio thing happening.
Yeah, we just cashed out our Patreon stuff, and as we always talk about, all the Patreon money goes back into making the show better. And so, and whether that be new gear or new infrastructure for a studio or, whatever it is. So that's coming. Okay. So you have presumably, last week you had 5, and that was a real
Yeah. Well, we hadn't talked
upset
in a
to the
while.
system.
I got 3.
All right. So
got
Carl
three for
has
the
3
world.
options for some sort of modern day technological
In our
advancement.
World. Let's just call it in our world. That's simple.
All right. Hit me with it.
All right. So, option number 1 is the good old U.S. of A.
No,
Courts
gross.
an ex-love. That's all I'm going to leave.
Okay. I don't know who the U.S. used to get along with that they don't now, besides everybody. But
The next one is you tattoo you. And lastly, we'll do we'll do that one. We'll do enter the holodeck.
ooh, I mean, okay. I think I'm gonna go with the tattoo one because the holodeck, like we do lots of techie stuff. That's a techie thing, and presumably there's some sort of technology attached to all 3 of these, but I don't know. Like I have tattoos. You don't have tattoos by the sheer merit of the fact that you would pass out when the first
Being stabbed
dot
with a
was
needle
done.
thousands of times does not entertain me.
That's not your idea of a Saturday afternoon. So I'm going to go with the tattoo one.
Okay. All right. The other 2 options then. The U.S. They're jumping on the moon bandwagon along with India and Russia and China and everyone else. They on January 8th they sent a rocket with a lunar lander up in space.
Okay. Is this NASA?
This is NASA. Yep.
Okay.
Gonna go back to their old love, the moon.
So what's the deal with NASA? Because wasn't there a point in time like 10 years ago or something where it had come out that like NASA was done or whatever? Like we're like, we're not gonna launch any more shuttles. Like we're retiring the space program because we don't care anymore or something.
They are retiring. They retired their space shuttle. Yeah, but they weren't retiring the space program.
Oh, okay. It was just like hey, we're moving past this tech.
I don't know what they're doing. Like, because they've outsourced a lot of their rocket launching stuff to SpaceX in recent years.
Right.
So I don't know what their plans are for. I'm not that into NASA knowledge to know what their plans are for future space shuttle launches.
And the space shuttle was the one that kind of just looked like a passenger airplane, right?
Yeah, the big white kind of winged thing that landed.
Yeah. Okay.
But anyway, so they launched on January 8th. They launched this space shuttle.
Okay.
But there's more to this story, because shortly after launching and getting their sensor readings back, they realized there was a catastrophic failure in their propellant system. They lost a lot of fuel, and now they can't land on the moon.
And Tom Hanks has already been contracted to do the film.
Yeah, as play the robot.
Yeah.
All's not lost though. That engineers and scientists, being who they are, they literally just turned everything on inside the rocket and then the lander to collect as much data as they can, so it's not completely useless. So it's kind of cool. Anyway,
but it's also not coming back home.
No, probably not. And it's probably not landing on the moon.
No.
All right. Okay. And then the holodeck one. Last week we talked a little bit about the Consumer Electronics Show. There's more stuff coming out about that, because it's not just a one-day thing. It's like a week-long deal. So there's more stuff hitting the news feeds that is pretty cool. And there's this, like, it's not a holodeck. It's more like a hollow box. They're pretty big. You look it up on your own time. They're pretty cool, but like they apparently show like a holographic image inside the box. So pretty cool. Imagine like a big looks like it's probably like 2x2 box that's 6 or 7 feet tall.
Okay.
Anyway.
Okay.
But then you choose.
I'm looking at pictures that NASA has taken right now. Did you know Uranus is covered in ice?
Mine's covered in hair.
Anyways, I chose the one about tattoos.
You did. Tattoos. So again, this is another Consumer Electronics Show 2024 thing.
Okay.
So there's some company. What's the name of the company here? Home appliance. No, this is home appliance category. Printer M Plus. Just showing off their portable. It's essentially just a portable printer. So it doesn't. There's no needles involved in this. But it's like a printer that you can print stuff on your skin, on your hair. I don't know if it prints anything on paper, but it's pretty cool. Like,
yeah,
pretty.
It sounds like this could be
neat.
One step closer to you getting a tattoo.
A temporary tattoo, anyway.
Yeah, we're moving in the right direction.
You can wake up in the morning and print whatever you want on your body. But yeah, it's pretty neat.
I knew a girl in high school that, speaking of like temporary, appearance alteration, I knew a girl in high school that would come to school, and 3 times a week, the highlights in her hair, like brightly colored, we were like the punk kids, brightly colored highlights in her hair would be a different color than they had been the day before. And she used to color her hair using bingo dabbers. So she would just take like a bingo dabber and run it on her hair. And she was like, and it's totally great because I'm like not frying my hair at all. And then like 3 years later, her hair had the consistency of like Play-Doh. Like it was just like she had no choice but to shave her head and start over.
Really?
Yeah.
That's nasty.
Yeah. Hair color is never good for you.
This thing's not very big. Like you're not printing like a full sleeve on your arm.
Well, size is not.
But like you could
always what matters.
Bring it to.
I've been told.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay, just a little handheld.
Yeah, you could take it.
Prinkle.
You could do like Canada Day celebrations and print like really. Like the kids get the fake tattoos on their cheeks and arms and stuff.
Yeah,
and
if you wanted to be controversial,
you could really fly through kids printing temporary tattoos on them.
Yeah, but you know what? We find out in 2 years that this thing causes cancer. 2 years. I give it 2 years.
Yeah, it's possible, I suppose. They say it's completely washable.
Seems very possible. I don't know. Everything causes cancer, man. Everything.
Anyway.
All right. Cool. All right. So let's jump into our movie news topics for today. Now, we're going to start things off with Marvel can't seem to make up their minds about anything. And we talked about this last week. We talked about the Daredevil Marvel. Is the Netflix show Daredevil and that universe canonical, or is it not? Is it part of canon? Is that part of the sacred timeline of the MCU? And I want to refresh people's memory because when Charlie Cox was first cast as Daredevil in the MCU, right? Not talking about the Netflix show. I'm talking about his appearance as Matt Murdock in Spider-Man No Way Home. I'm talking about his appearance as Daredevil in She-Hulk, and now appearing in Echo. Right. When that casting first happened, you can, and this is not a secret, you can go back on the internet, on YouTube, you can search up the interviews that happened. Charlie did several interviews where he was very, very clear. This is different. This is something different. This is not, it's like the Netflix Daredevil, but it's not the Netflix Daredevil. He was very clear about that. He was very, very, very clear.
Right. But that also would have been under the former writers and directors that are no longer working on the Daredevil.
Sure.
series.
No, sure, yeah. For sure. But when Charlie Cox was first introduced as Daredevil in the actual MCU, they were very, very clear about the fact that this is not the same thing. Right. And this was long before there was a Daredevil show announced that was for the MCU. This was all before that. But it was like, hey, yeah, you know what? I'm here. It's me. Deal with it in true Don Cheadle style. But also he said, but it's very similar to, but it's not the same. This is something different. And then again, we saw Vincent D'Onofrio show up in Hawkeye with a Kingpin that there were some contradictions. There was between the character that he was playing in Hawkeye and the Kingpin that he played in Daredevil. And it seemed pretty clear and obvious. Okay, it's not the same. Yeah, it's Vincent D'Onofrio, and yeah, he's playing Kingpin, but it's not the same Kingpin. This is different. It feels different. It seems different. And everyone attached to these projects is saying, yeah, it's not the same thing. Now, we talked last week because some bigwig at Marvel said, yeah, we acknowledge that we kind of played it pretty loosey-goosey in terms of really giving anyone any information in terms of where those shows fell within canon. But now, now that we've had time to see how well it integrates and stuff like that, me alone, me and nobody else, feel pretty confident in saying that, yes, this is a part of the Netflix Daredevil show is a part of the MCU sacred timeline. Now, the other thing that had kind of happened that made it seem like, okay, you know what, it's not the same thing, was when the actors that played Karen and Foggy from the Netflix Daredevil show said, yeah, they're shooting and we haven't been approached. We're not in it. Right. And so then it seemed like, okay, cool. Like this is, they're kind of rebooting it. They're doing something different. They're going in a different direction. Now, let me jog your memory a little bit further, because it wasn't that long ago that you and I reported that they had taken the Daredevil show back to the drawing board. They had already started shooting. And it came out that they were scrapping everything they had, and they were going back to the writing room and they were starting over because they didn't like what they had. Right? They're watching the dailies, they're piecing it together, they're figuring out, they're getting an idea of how this looks, and they're like, no, we got to start over. Right? We got to rewrite this thing. We have to completely rework it from the ground up. Well, it would seem now that was probably the pivot point. Right? Because we now have reports that both Foggy and Karen and the actors that played them in the Netflix show will be appearing. And that they're coming in. They're going to be a part of this thing now.
In some fashion, yeah.
In some fashion. And so it's kind of come out now that, yes, the Netflix Daredevil verse is canon. Sort of. Because they're going to Star Wars the hell out of this thing. Right? They're saying, basically what they're saying here is the Netflix Daredevil show is canon, but not everything that happened in those shows is canon. Right? They're going to kind of pick and choose. They're going to go through and make some decisions about, well, yeah, that's great. Yep, that and that. But no, not Iron Fist, right? Or whatever it is,
Yeah.
not this, not that, but those things are. And I'm willing to bet that decision, that change, because make no mistake, it is a 180, because there was a point in time where they were very clear that the Charlie Cox Daredevil was not the same Daredevil, right? This is a different Daredevil. And now they've pulled a 180 and they're saying, no, it is the same Daredevil. And I'm willing to bet that decision either caused or was caused by and went hand in hand with that big rework that they did. Right? That they were like, okay, you know what? Let's rework this thing. And like that guy said last week, now that we've had time to, kind of stand back and analyze this, I see no reason why it couldn't be. I see no reason why it couldn't be a continuation of what we saw on Netflix. So to make it clear, because at this point, like up until now, you and I have been on different sides of the fence, and we've been just kind of watching that pendulum swing back and forth. Well, a little bit. Oh, this is in my favor. I think it's a different. I think it's a different Daredevil. And then you're like, nah, I think it's the same Daredevil. And the pendulum is kind of swung back and forth. I think this argument is settled now. I think that it is now official that it is the same Daredevil. However, I don't think that this is a victory or a defeat for either of us, because we were kind of both right. It wasn't. And when I was saying it wasn't originally, I mean, there's been a period of time now where obviously the decision was made behind the scenes that, okay, now it is. And I was still towing the company line for no, it isn't. But originally, no, it wasn't. But now it is. Sort of. Most of it. Some of it. A lot of it. It's not a bad decision, right? It's not a bad decision. People know and love the Netflix Daredevil. The only thing that's going to come, that this will really come down to, and I think what they've done, I got to admit, we're probably 2 weeks out anyways from reviewing it, because I'm as behind as dirt right now. I haven't seen any of the Echo show yet, but everything that we had seen in that really like R-rated, like you probably have to adjust your parental settings on Disney Plus to watch this show trailer that came out, Disney's willing to go violent. They're willing to go intense with their Disney Plus MCU shows, which is, I think, a good sign for this Daredevil show, because that was one of our big things, right? We're like, well, it's gonna feel very different because what we got from Netflix was gritty and it was bloody and it was violent. It was, they weren't pulling punches at all. And at the time, we were looking at everything we'd gotten from Marvel and in the form of Disney Plus streaming shows, and we're like, well, clearly they're not going to do that. So it's not going to feel the same. Maybe it will. I still don't think they're going to use the same sort of foul language that you were seeing a lot of the time in the Netflix one. But I think you may get more of that gritty, violent stuff if Echo is any indicator. It also just makes the MCU that much bigger now. It's just like, they've just added seasons upon seasons upon seasons of television if you wanted to get caught up and see the full picture. Oh my God. It's just like, it's just so much. Anyways, Carl, you hear this. You hear that Foggy Nelson and Karen Page are in fact going to be a part of the Daredevil-ness that's happening within the MCU, and that the Netflix show, at least in some capacity, is in fact canon. What are your thoughts on this?
Yay. And I win. No. No, you're absolutely right. Like, if you're not going to take it in full, at least don't write it off completely, right? Like,
Right.
Take what did work, bring it into canon, make it real, right? And like a lot of amazing groundwork was laid, with the exception of a show that will not be named.
Did you like Luke Cage though?
I did. I liked the first season. The second season, I felt struggled and had a weird ending. But Jessica Jones was just really good, beginning to end as well.
Yeah.
And then, there's that other one, the ugly redheaded stepchild.
Yeah.
But it's like there's good stuff to draw from there, and the actors did bang up jobs portraying their characters. So yeah, this is great news. I think they did recast apparently the Hammer,
right. Yep.
Fisk, that Wilson Fisk used to kill his dad. For those out of the loop, I sent a meme to Brady that apparently they must do like a flashback to a scene in the Daredevil show where Fisk kills his dad with the hammer, and the hammer's different in Echo.
Yeah, you know what we need though? I need like an official release with a document on it now that says from Kevin Feige. I need Kevin Feige's letterhead. And it needs to say
this is not.
This is canon and this is not, because you get into the world of the Netflix Daredevil show and you're like, okay, we've got Netflix, we've got with Netflix, we've got Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Iron Fist, Luke Cage,
it's getting Punisher, hard to follow along for sure,
and the Defenders, which was kind of like their Avengers. Yeah. Right? It was, we're all going to come together and And so it's like, well, okay, but how far now? Like if I'm going back and I'm wanting to get caught up, refreshed so that I'm all caught up for this MCU, what is the assignment? What is optional reading and is actually just going to serve to confuse me if I watch it and take it as gospel? And what is gospel, right? What is the stuff that I'm supposed to take and go, okay, here's the backstory, right? So I don't know, man. I don't know.
It's Which
the fact that Kingpin didn't have superpowers in
he still
Daredevil,
doesn't have superpowers.
He has superpowers,
no,
man.
He doesn't.
Go back and watch that. When's the last time you watched Hawkeye?
It's been a while, but he's an exceptionally strong individual. Even in the comics, he doesn't have superpowers, but he's like the peakest of peak physical condition without having superpowers. And but in the comics, he seems like he's got powers, but he doesn't. So they're just portraying him the way he is in the comics. He's just at peak physical condition. Plus, like if you're like going to point at something like he got shot with an arrow.
No, he gets shot with a Desert Eagle. First of all,
have you seen the Daredevil Netflix show?
I have.
His suit isn't just a normal suit. His suit is literally bulletproof.
Okay, he gets hit by a speeding car, which throws him through a storefront, and he gets up a couple of seconds later completely unscathed. Like he is like a car hit alone. Forget the fact that he's sent flying through a storefront. A car hit alone that, even if it somehow didn't kill him, would have broken both his legs and a couple of ribs. And he gets up completely unscathed, has this whole fight. The episode ends with him getting shot point blank, at the very least in the chest, with a serious pistol.
I don't know how they're writing that one in Echo.
That's superpowers.
But he doesn't have superpowers.
He's got something.
Dude, we're talking about a world where Hawkeye and Black Widow, who are just normal humans, and are standing next to
Hawkeye is normal human. No. Hawkeye is normal human. Black Widow was trained in the Red Room. She's
still human. She doesn't have superpowers.
Yeah. No, but that's a whole different level of training, and she's a Black Widow assassin.
So Black Widow can get away with it, but not Kingpin.
Well, it's no different than being like me? No, but it's no different than you have someone like Talia al Ghul, the daughter of Ra's al Ghul, the one of the heads, the head heir apparent, if Bruce says no, to the League of Assassins. That's cut from a different cloth than your average Joe assassin fighting. Do you know what I mean? There's
right.
Anyways.
And Hawkeye is cut from a different cloth. That's why he can hit anything with a bow and arrow or a bottle cap or whatever the hell he wants to throw or shoot or whatever.
Well,
and
that's cocaine.
Kingpin is also cut from a different cloth, which is why he's so durable and strong.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's still human.
He's got superpowers.
Dude,
we'll see. The argument.
We're talking about a comic book show.
Listen, the debate has
disbelief.
The debate has changed. We have put to rest whether or not Daredevil is canon. What we have not put to rest is just how enhanced is Kingpin, and that'll be the pendulum has
pendulum, not the new pendulum. Is. I'm swinging right. Not.
Moving on. Also Marvel, but kind of not Marvel. Sony Marvel, but also post-credit scene MCU. Who knows? Venom 3. Venom 3 is a film that we know is coming. We've known for a little while. Feels like forever ago now. We covered that there, Tom Hardy had shot like an Instagram reel or something from the set of Venom 3. Listen, unpopular opinion. I like the Venom movies. I do. I really like the first one. I love the first one. The first one's so good. Second one wasn't as good, but I still liked it. I still had a lot of fun with Venom Let There Be Carnage. Venom 3 is coming. It's coming soon. And Sony just did their own little panel, their iPhone reveal, their lineup, their whole this is what's coming. And in that, they unveiled the official logos for several films, for 6 upcoming films. One was Bad Boys 4. You and I have some catching up to do. We have to watch Bad Boys 3. Actually, we probably have to at this point. It's been 12 years since you and I sat down and watched the first 2. We probably have to do a Bad Boys-a-thon. And culminate it with Bad Boys 3. And then you and I will be all set up and ready to go for Bad Boys 4. Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, which was a logo we'd already seen in the trailer. Kraven the Hunter, which was a logo we had already seen in the trailer. Madam Web, we had already seen in the trailer. We got the logo for the new Karate Kid that's coming. The one where it's okay, it's the multiverse Karate Kid film where the Jackie Chan one is apparently now officially canon within the original Karate Kid universe, and that movie's coming, and whatever. So we got that logo. It's just a Karate Kid logo. It's nothing spectacular. But we also got the logo for Venom 3. Now, it is just the word Venom. It's the same Venom logo that we've seen from the other 2 films, but the 3 seems to be giving away who the villain is going to be in Venom 3. And that, of course, if you've seen any of the articles popping up, the memes on social media or whatever, all signs are kind of pointing to Toxin. which is, of course, another symbiote within the Spider-Man Venom world universe. The most popular. What? You don't see the logo?
I see the logo, but I don't see how people are drawing Toxin from that 3.
I mean,
I don't get it.
I don't, just by looking at it, but everybody has drawn that, and so there must be people out there who are. Well, I know there's people out there who are more versed in their symbiote knowledge than I am. So that's
yeah. So I'm not super versed in all this. Some of this new, a lot of the symbiotes kind of past, like Toxin. I'm not super familiar with. Anti-Venom, I'm not super familiar. I know enough about them to know of them. But like you look at pictures of Toxin,
40 of them.
You look at pictures of Toxin. Well, they did a huge symbiote storyline in Marvel Comics about a year, probably 2 or 3 years ago now, where they even delved down to like who created them, like the God Venom. I can't remember what's his name. Right. And stuff like that. Anyway, like Toxin as a character looks like Venom, but his upper half is red, and it looks like he's wearing like black. Sorry, and it looks like his bottom half is kind of black or dark blue or whatever. Right. Like, how does that look like Toxin? I don't get it. But anyway, go on.
I don't know. Maybe it's the red, right? Maybe it's the red. But anyways, so in the comics, like what I do know is, as is the case with many of the symbiotes, there have been, throughout the comic book runs, there have been different hosts for those symbiotes. But the first one in the comics, and the most popular one, the one that, everyone identifies, is, in fact, the cop Patrick Mulligan. Now, Patrick Mulligan has been a reoccurring character in the Venom films, and we did see, it shouldn't be a surprise to anyone, because at the end of Venom Let There Be Carnage, this was kind of set up already, right? We see the symbiote attach itself to Mulligan in a little bit of a tease, and we're like, "Ooh, what's going on?"
Maybe that's where they're pulling it from then.
Right. So, so here's the thing. So I hear this news. Toxin's probably going to be the villain of Venom 3. And my only response is not, "Ooh, that's amazing." My response is not, "Yeah." My response is, again? We're doing it's just symbiote versus symbiote again? I don't know. Like, in the first Venom, who's the villain? It's
Rampage.
Rampage, right? Rampage is okay, great. Sure, makes sense. Even in Venom 2, right? Carnage is a popular, he's like the arch nemesis in a lot of ways to Venom. Okay, great. Right? It makes sense. And you've got Woody Harrelson in there playing, okay, fine. But the third time around, we can't pull any other villains out of the Spider-Man rogues gallery. We have to stick with symbiotes.
No, we got to give them all their own show.
Oh my God. It's just like, at this point, I'm just like, honestly, it's hurting my anticipation for this. Because I'm just like, well, we've seen this. It's just special effects CGI pornography. And the CGI has always been done well in the Venom films, right? I'm not like, oh, it's just going to be ridiculous to look at. No, it's cool. They're fun fights. But I just don't get why at this point you don't introduce someone else, right? Like, clearly at this point, I don't know that Venom is ever... I don't know that we're ever going to see Tom Hardy's Venom face off against a Spider-Man. Right? I just don't know that that's going to happen.
Well, that would have been a far more interesting storyline, is to like introduce either... yeah. I don't know if you do MCU Spider-Man, Tom Holland, but
well, and I think that's the problem, right? I think that's why they're not doing it, is because Sony, I don't think, knows what they're doing with Spider-Man right now, right? Because after Spider-Man, Far From Home, after the second Spider-Man happened, there was that whole thing where Spider-Man was going back to Sony.
Yeah.
Right? The deal with Marvel had ended, and Tom Holland was still potentially going to be Spider-Man, but that Spider-Man was no longer going to be a part of the MCU, and he was going to live in he was going to live at Sony. And so and then they extended it. Right? They extended it for, and I can't remember what the terms were, but it was like at least one more film. And so that was when all the speculation, when Spider-Man No Way Home was coming, was myself and I think many others, like, look at the title, No Way Home. So they're going to use this film to somehow suck Spider-Man, Tom Holland's Peter Parker, out of the MCU universe, stick him into the Morbius Venom verse, and he will have no way to get back home. That's just where he'll be now.
Yeah,
right?
That would have been ideal.
Yeah, and they didn't do that, which is fine, because I'm all for another MCU Spider-Man movie, especially the way they set everything up at the end of the last one. But I think Sony's sitting there right now like, okay, we have the Miles Morales thing that we're doing. It was animated and it's great and everyone loves that. So we're kind of putting on the Spider-Man front, we're putting all of our energy into that, while we sit around with our thumbs up our asses making movies that don't make sense, like Madam Web.
Craven.
Well, no, I'm excited for the Craven one. I look, I know, you look at it and you're like, well, this doesn't seem like the Craven. I know what is going on, but the guy bites the other guy's nose off, right? Like that. I'm like, this is cool. But I don't know. So, but I think Sony's sitting there going, well, what do we want to do? Because the MCU is probably going to make another Spider-Man. We think, maybe that deal's still in place. Maybe they're making plans to do a Spider-Man 4. There's been a lot of rumors going around that that's what's going to happen. It's certainly set up in a way that would make sense for them to do it. But then I think Sony's sitting there going, well, do we really want to introduce a fourth live-action Spider-Man if in 5 years' time... Right? If we introduce one now and we get one film out, and then this whole thing comes to a crashing end with Marvel, and then all of a sudden we have the Tom Holland Spider-Man at our disposal, then what? Right? So I think they're sitting there like, well, we're not going to use the Tom Holland one because we don't want to mess up anything that Marvel's doing, but we also don't want to introduce our own because... in a way, we kind of have this Tom Holland guy sitting in our back pocket ready for whenever Marvel's done making Spider-Man magic. Because all the Spider-Man movies have been great, right? Say what you will, say what we will about Marvel and how they've been doing up until this point. The Spider-Man movies have been on point. So I don't know. I think that's why right now... Yeah. We're not seeing that. I don't know the reasoning for why we got that little... Like, they set up Tom Hardy in the MCU with that post-credit scene.
And then just sucked him back.
But then left some... They're like, okay, we're sucking him back because we don't want to do that, but we also want to not completely close off all possibilities of doing something because we're going to leave a little piece of symbiote here.
Right. And... depending on how true to the comics they get, that does have interesting implications. Because in the comics, the symbiotes are a form of a hive mind, which they kind of start touching on in those post-credit scenes. But they don't have a lot of time to get in it. But essentially, they're a hive mind. They have shared memories and experiences across each other, which ties them into Null, who's the guy I was alluding to earlier. I looked up the name so I could remember. And Null is the god who created them. He's god of the abyss in Marvel, who's constantly fighting against the light, quote unquote. So, I mean, I think if they're not going to do Spider-Man, they should at least start driving into the Null storyline, the King in Black comic book line that Marvel did, which was fantastic. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm happy to, if they bring Toxin in, Toxin's not necessarily a villain, right?
No, but I mean, neither is Venom at this point.
He's more of an antagonist than he is a protagonist more than he is an antagonist. So if Toxin is going to be in this film, I don't see him as a villain. Like, why would he be a villain? He's the offspring of Carnage.
Right.
I'm just looking at the wiki here, and he's been a ally to Spider-Man and Venom.
Right.
Is considered to be their ally. So, like, I don't know. I feel like if you write him as unless somehow he does a face turn halfway through the film because there's another antagonist, I don't know. Anyway, there's lots of symbiotes that can be played with in the Venom verse within the comics, drawn from the comics, and I don't know. We'll see.
I'm just over it.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
I'm just over it, man. I'm over this.
I don't see it being amazing.
No,
but whatever.
Like it's just at this point, it's like, yeah, I don't know. I'm so over the symbiote versus symbiote thing. It's just it's done. It's tired. We've done it. We've seen it. We've done it. We've done it twice now. Let's move on. Okay, speaking of moving on, there's a new trailer out. The first trailer.
There's two for we're going to do.
The continuation of the deal between Adam Sandler and Netflix. Listen, Adam Sandler is... When Adam Sandler is on the mark, he's gold. Right? 8 Crazy Nights, 50 First Dates, Mr. Deeds, Big Daddy, Billy Madison,
Uncut
Happy
Gems.
Gilmore, Uncut Gems. Well, and that's moving into his like non-comedic sort of realm, right? But like Grown Ups, these are all great Adam Sandler projects. But then you also have things like That's My Boy and what was the Jack and Jill or something. Even Click was good. Click was great. And Hubie Halloween or whatever that I like came out 3 years ago, and I put it on for 3 minutes and I was like, nope. And I was like, no, this is that stupid flavor of Adam Sandler. And so Adam Sandler has been making these, like, hang on, list of Adam Sandler Netflix movies. Because he's been doing this, Sandy Wexler, Murder Mysteries, Ridiculous Six, Hustle.
Murder Mysteries is fun.
It's not bad, yeah. But he's been doing these, The Do-Over. He's been doing these Netflix movies. And some of them are okay. Some of them are garbage. And you can, those are up for debate, right? All film is subjective. You can, I liked it, you didn't, you liked it, I didn't, whatever. What isn't up for debate is that this deal, the reason why Adam Sandler is continuing to do these Netflix movies is because they're making him an absolute killing. Like, this is a great deal for him.
Association. Yeah,
it's a great deal financially for everybody all around. And so he's continuing to do it, and he's going to continue to do it. And that kind of makes sense. So the new trailer's out for the newest one in the pantheon of Adam Sandler Netflix originals called Spaceman. And the first 80% of the trailer seems like it's one of his dramatic roles. Like it's kind of in line with the Uncut Gems thing. And although the trailer never takes like an absolute comedic turn, it kind of veers away from like serious sci-fi turn when all of a sudden we have like Princess whoever she is sitting on a log in the woods.
It's got like this weird Space Odyssey vibe, but instead of the guy kind of going a little bit loopy and there's a robot trying to talk to him or whatever, he's going a little loopy, and a spider shows up, a giant spider, a space spider.
It feels to me, without the jokes in the trailer, that this would be the difference. It has a very like Adam Project kind of feel to it, right? That it's like it's sci-fi, fantasy, kind of goofy. Like it just feels like it has a lot of the same sensibilities as something like the Adam Project did with Ryan Reynolds, which was obviously more of a direct comedy because it's Ryan Reynolds and it's just what he does. Look, I don't think this is going to be another Uncut Gems, but I don't think it looks bad either. Right? There are some Adam Sandler trailers you watch and you go, oh, okay. You know, like I said, this is the flavor of Adam we're getting in this one. And it's I don't know. This one, he doesn't, he's a little more dramatic in it. Right? It's not this like over the top kind of like Adam Sandler that you sometimes get, and you're like, okay, small doses. That's funny in small doses, not when it's the whole film. God, I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry was another great one. But yeah, so I think it looks good, right? I'm not the biggest Adam Sandler fan. I'm not one of those guys. There's plenty of films that they've done in this Netflix thing that I just simply haven't watched, and you know, don't care to. If someone put it on, I wouldn't be like, no, I really don't want to watch that. I would watch it, but I'm not seeking these out on my own. And this one probably falls into the same category. Like I'm not marking this one on my calendar by any means, but I don't think it looks bad. I think that this could be one of the better Netflix Adam Sandler movies that he's done. Anyways, Carl, you've seen the trailer, and I know that because I sent it to you.
I did see it. Yes, I watched.
And you're notorious for, even if I don't send you things, you're like, well, I'm going to Google it and find it myself. Bastard. What are your thoughts on this? Are you even are you a big Adam Sandler guy? And regardless, what do you think of this trailer?
I'm a good few minutes older than you, so I think it's safe to say I probably grew up on Adam Sandler more than you did. Right,
I don't know. I mean, I had the Big Daddy VHS as a kid, and I watched that a lot.
I grew up on his SNL stuff, and
then he got fired. Man, that doesn't count.
Cinema with Happy Gilmore and all that. So I like me some Adam Sandler, and I will agree with you that sometimes some of the stuff goes a little far. Such as the Halloween one, Hubie's Halloween, and it's a little hard to watch.
Jack and Jill is the big. Is the big one that everyone references. No, it's just stupid.
But I like when he hits. It hits like whatever. When Adam Sandler works on a project, and he's really like in the zone, it's fire.
Yep.
It's fire.
Oh yeah.
And oh man, I watched this really interesting video essay on Adam Sandler's kind of recent works about a year ago, shortly after or around Hubie Halloween coming out.
Yeah.
And it kind of went into like how a lot of his characters and the films that he makes, his characters have like an underlying theme to them of like an immature person going through the course of the film and learning what it means to grow up and be responsible. And by the end, there's kind of this change in who they are and how they act. So, and the person that did this video essay kind of like was saying how like the guy from Uncut Gems is the exact same character on that underlying tone. He's a very immature, selfish person. The same way the guy from what's the one where he plays the rich kid that's got to go back to school? Billy Madison. He's the same guy with the underlying kind of tones, right? Immature, selfish, doesn't care about other people, and then by the end, but in Uncut Gems, it ends up he's like there is no turn. He's just as selfish at the beginning as he is at the end, right? And it ends up costing. Spoiler, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, his life.
Right.
So, and then like the video essay kind of hits on like the guy kind of surmised at the end of his thing that he believes people aren't respecting like Adam's work, and he made Hubie Halloween as like a middle finger to those people that don't take him seriously. He's like, all right, I'll just do whatever the hell I want. We'll see. Anyway.
Yeah.
But I don't think Hubie Halloween's his best work. I don't think he ever intended it for it to be his best work. He just wanted to get together with a bunch of buddies and make something stupid.
Well, and that's what he does. And like, my question then for you is like, because I'm looking at the cast of this Spaceman movie, right? And there are some, there's some names in this, right? Paul Dano's in it. Carey Mulligan, there's Kunal Nayar, which played what was his name on Big Bang Theory? Raj?
Yeah, Raj.
Yeah. But what's missing from this list,
buddies.
Excuse me, is, there's no Steve Buscemi, there's no Kevin James, there's no Rob Schneider, there's no Jon Stewart, right? And so I'm wondering, do Adam Sandler movies hit differently for you? Like, a part of the joy, I think, for me in sitting down to watch an Adam Sandler movie a lot of the times is wondering, who's Rob Schneider going to play in this one, right? Or at what point is David Spade going to pop up? Because he's got his crew. He's got the guys that really, some of them.
If you're in tight with Sandler, then you're going to be in something he's making every year.
Yeah, right. Because let's face it, and it's maybe unpopular to say, but like, Kevin James did, like, he had the King of Queens sitcom show, so he had success. But people like Steve Buscemi and Nick Swartzen and Blake Clark to an extent, like, some of these guys are really only working, right? Like, they're kind of okay, Adam, you got something coming up? Because
what's your next thing?
Bills are piling up here, and we could use another payday. Does it hit differently for you when the usual suspects, the lineup isn't there?
I don't think so.
No?
Like, they weren't in. I don't think any of his buddies were. How many of his buddies were in Uncut Gems? With Uncut Gems here,
I don't know if any of them were. Let's see here. Cast. Uncut Gems.
Yeah, like I don't see anybody at first glance.
No.
Right. So, I mean, Uncut Gems is also a little different because there's a lot of basketball in there, and Sandler's a huge basketball nut. So,
wasn't the basketball one was Hustle?
No, but Uncut Gems was about a sports
right.
gambler.
There was still,
right? He was betting on basketball games one of the main characters was a basketball player,
right?
That was trying to make it big. But yeah, so you know, I bet you some of these people are still kind of tight with him, just not movie tight.
Yeah.
But yeah, they definitely. You're right though. Maybe this is what makes them like a movie like Uncut Gems hit different, because those regulars to a Sandler film aren't in it.
Final Adam Sandler question for you, and it's a big one. If you're an Adam Sandler fan, then you have to have an opinion on this. Who is the better couple? Adam Sandler and Drew Barrymore, or Adam Sandler and Jennifer Aniston? Because they're both like his leading ladies.
Oh man. Well, Drew Barrymore, I feel like they probably have better off-screen chemistry.
Right.
They're like really tight buddies. But him and Jennifer Aniston, they've made a lot of, like, just looking at the filmography of Adam Sandler, 1, 2, I guess 3, because they did 2 murder mysteries.
Mysteries.
Yeah, they must have some
Just
kind
Go
of
With It. Just Go With It had both in it.
Yeah.
Right? Drew Barrymore makes an appearance in that one, I think.
I think if we're just looking like on-screen chemistry, I'd have to go with Drew Barrymore.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
But
him and Jennifer Aniston seem to be tight off-screen, right?
Yeah.
Like they, yeah.
But like, yeah, like they seem to have closer to a matching energy, I'll say, I guess.
Yeah, because Drew's kind of got that weirdness to her,
like goofy,
and so does Adam. All right, moving on. A second trailer, and a trailer. Listen. This trailer
went through me.
Trailer that I initially put in for a couple reasons. One, because I genuinely think this looks good, and I'm excited for it. 2, because prior to watching it, I was like, oh, this will make Carl uncomfortable. He's not going to like watching this. And then I watched the trailer and I went, okay, there will definitely be things about this that aren't Carl's cup of tea, but also, if I were ever going to get Carl to sit down and watch a horror film with me, this might be the one he would agree to, because it has just enough, like, it has just enough of the type of thing that I feel like he would be into and want to watch, that maybe, I don't know. So we're talking about the trailer for Abigail, new horror film that's coming out, circling around a bunch of people in a very, like, you know, Clue Mansion, uncut gems, not Knives Out, Glass Onion was the one where they're all, you know, like this kind of like people pulled from all different areas that are together, and right. Maybe, you know, you don't know everyone's identity, and you don't whatever.
I want to jump in here. I want to
sure,
like, just to kind of give like a brief synopsis of the trailer. The first part of the trailer. I feel like that's what you're trying to do, but I feel like you're not doing it
fine. All right, take it away, sir.
So yeah, so the first, it's a 2.5-ish minute trailer, and about the first minute of the trailer feels like an abduction story. Like they abduct a little girl, she's brought to an old rickety mansion, and there is a gang of misfit criminals brought together to keep this girl safe until payout from Rich Daddy comes.
Yeah.
So it seems like kind of it's going to be an actiony thing, but then
but also that mystery thriller.
Yeah. But then it starts the premise very quickly and obviously changes to something that's maybe a little bit more ghostly or scary, creepy.
Yeah.
The mansion starts doing things, and doors and windows start opening and closing, and gets creepy. But then there's like a big reveal right about in the last third of the trailer. The trailer in itself is almost a movie. Like it takes you on a journey.
Yeah.
And then it's revealed that this little girl is actually
a vampire.
And I'm not stuck in here with you. You're stuck in here with me.
Yeah.
Kind of comes out.
That moment when she says, I'm sorry for what's about to happen to you. Right before she like turns and the reveal happens that like she's creepy AF.
Yeah.
So like I said, I sent this to you kind of being like, oh, Carl's going to hate this. And then I watched the trailer and I was like, oh, hang on a second. Carl might watch this. I might get Carl to watch this with me. Good golly. Listen, I think this trailer looks amazing. I think it feels unique, right? Like I'm watching the trailer and I'm not like, oh, this is just like blank. It feels, certainly it has familiar elements to it. I mean, I don't think you can do a movie these days that doesn't have familiar elements to it. But it also does a good job of sort of carving its own path. At least that's what the trailer conveys. Carl, you saw the trailer. Are you going to watch this with me? What are your thoughts?
So you keep calling this a horror film. And
Well,
I would classify it as a monster film.
Well, okay, that's fine. But
So,
monster
I'm gonna
films,
watch it. I will watch a monster flick.
right? But monster films are kind of a subgenre of the horror genre.
They can
nowadays.
have horror elements. Yeah.
Yeah.
But which this one definitely does.
Right. Like the film, the difference between just a straight up, you see like a Godzilla movie is a monster movie, but then there's and not a horror movie. But I think the difference is that this is a monster movie that, at least judging from the trailer, is clearly intended to make you uncomfortable at times, to make you feel tense.
That's due to the nature of the monster that we're using as.
Yeah, little girl that's a vampire. The whole little girl thing is creepy to begin with.
In general, are an uncomfortable monster when you portray them properly and not like sparkly, glowy vampires.
Hey, now.
So you like
it or hate it, what she did with that franchise was business genius.
Something happened there. This looks like a great vampire monster flick, and I would be down for watching this.
All right,
and cool, the trailer does what a trailer should do. It hypes you up if you're into horror or monster flicks or just like really tense drama and don't mind a little gore. This thing looks like a lot of fun, and the trailer does a great job of.
That's a pleasant surprise to me because again, I sent it to you.
I thought when I started watching it, and I was like, oh, okay, this is some kind of action thing. Oh no, okay, this is horror. I don't know if I want to watch. Oh, it's a vampire flick. Oh, I'm all over this. Like I went through this fun little journey just watching the trailer. It was great.
There was 10% of me that sent it to you to be a dick, to be like, I'm going to make him watch this horror trailer. All right. Moving on to our second last topic. Deadpool 3, film that we've never talked about before. No, we talk about it quite a bit. I'm so like,
what? They're making a Deadpool 3? This is amazing. Who's in it?
In my top
Everybody.
3. Yeah, in my top 3 most anticipated films of 2024. Hands down, in my top 3. I would say my top 3, in no particular order, is the new Ghostbusters. Hang on. I'm going to drop the Ghostbusters out. It's like, it is the closest runner-up that a runner-up could be. Beetlejuice 2, Joker 2, and Deadpool 3. Right? It's just like... It's Christmas all year long for me. And everyone's in it. I mean,
everybody is their brother's mother.
archival footage of Judy Garland playing Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz is in Deadpool 3. Like it is just, it seems like everyone's going to be in this. Now, we've had some confirmations, right? Whether they be set photos. We've seen now that Sabretooth is in it, and it looks like the Sabretooth from like the Bryan Singer X-Men, the like mostly non-verbal animalistic one, as opposed to the Liv Schreiber one that we got in Wolverine.
We're going to get both versions. What are you talking about?
Probably. Patrick Stewart has been like, hey, probably, right? And then Ian McKellen was like, well, you can't have...
I can't not do it if Patrick's
Charles
doing it. I can't let Patrick show me up.
Without Gandalf showing up, right? Like it just seems like everyone's going to be there.
It's just,
and then we
reunion.
even, we know that Jennifer Garner as Elektra is going to be in there, right? And I'm still holding out hope for Ben Affleck as Daredevil. I'm like, man, bring it back, do it justice. Come on. The fans, everyone likes to shit on that film, but the theater will explode if Ben Affleck shows up and you get Jon Favreau in there as Foggy. Like, good Lord.
This film has just become, it's both meme and wet dream all at the same time.
Yep.
Because there was that quote a little while back. Somebody was talking to the director about it, and he made the comment about like, if I had everybody that the internet says is in my film, I'd have the greatest film of all time.
Yes.
It's not possible. But it makes me wonder if Ryan called in favors to people who were part of X-Men past and just said, hey, can you make a tweet where you have where you have your old Storm hair and say something stormy
just to get the rumor mill going.
Just to get the rumor. You know what I mean? Like, how much of this is Ryan Johnson? Ryan just like stirring the pot because he knows the fans will eat it up. Like,
yeah.
This is either all these rumors are true and they really do have the greatest casting of all time, or this is the greatest PR/marketing campaign in cinematic history.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Well, I mean, it's Ryan Reynolds, right? So a top-notch marketing campaign, you would expect nothing less.
Yeah.
That's who he is. Well, one of the people we haven't seen in a set photo, and the rumors I feel like have been relatively light on, has been the other Professor X, James McAvoy, who obviously played Professor X in First Class, Days of Future Past, Apocalypse, and Dark Phoenix.
And showed up in X-Men or Deadpool 2.
Deadpool 2. Yeah, right? Which is an important
just a
thing
blink and
to
you miss
note.
it moment, but it's still there.
And so he was asked. He was on a red carpet and he was asked, hey, kind of seems like everyone's in this movie. What about you, James? And the response that James said was, anything I say will get me in trouble. I've had no contact with them. If they want me to come back, they need to talk to me and need a good script. I'm not saying anything. Now, it would not be the first time, looking at you, Andrew Garfield, that an actor has said, look, no, if I were in it, I would tell you.
Yeah.
But I'm not in it. Right? Like they haven't, like this thing, they're well into shooting this thing and my phone hasn't rung. So clearly I'm not in it.
Yeah. It very closely mirrors what his fellow Charles Xavier said.
In a lot of ways. However, I kind of think he's not in it. This one I tend to believe, because at this point, I mean, of the people who we know are confirmed to be in this, and it seems like everybody's in this, most people haven't been playing it that coy, right? Like, some people have just kind of been, like, Patrick Stewart said, they've told me to stand by, like, he said they've contacted me, right? Several people have said, like, hey, I've been contacted. I don't know what those details look like, but I've been told to stand by. I've been told to sit by the phone, right? And so I don't know why, like, and maybe James McAvoy as Professor X is a bigger deal to people than he is to me. But to me, this isn't like, if he is in it, it's not a massive, it's not this jaw-dropping cameo, right? It's not this like crazy, because, you know, and again, there are some people who would disagree, but of the two Professor X's that we've gotten, James McAvoy is the lesser iconic Professor X, right? Patrick Stewart is the Professor X. And so I just don't know. If you're James McAvoy, I don't know, unless you listen to the first part of his statement, which is, look, anything I say is going to get me in trouble. I don't know why you would, I don't know why you would say that and then end it with, I'm not saying anything, right? Like, he's kind of playing half coy. He's like, well, I can't really comment on that or I'll get in trouble. I'm not saying anything. I'm not going to say anything, but I will say that they haven't contacted me and I'm not in it. Right? Like, I don't know. He's kind of half coy, but then also shoots it down at the same time. I don't know. I'm leaning towards thinking he's not in it. Carl, what do you think?
Why would you say you'd get in trouble if you say anything? If you have
unless
nothing,
you're in it.
If you have nothing to say because they haven't contacted you, then you say, I don't know, they haven't contacted me. Like, why preface that second sentence at all?
Right.
With,
because
I'll get in trouble
you
if I say
saying
anything.
something.
Right?
Because I can see being...
You don't need that preface.
No. I can see being afraid of Marvel. I can see not being in this, but still being afraid of Marvel's lawyers and not wanting to tell people that you're not in it, because that is technically, like, you know, just as much as revealing that someone is in something, revealing that someone isn't is technically clearing some fog away from plot details, right? And so I can see you just wanting to play extra cautious and not being in it and simply giving the response, I'm not going to say anything or I'll get in trouble. But then you wouldn't follow it up by saying, I've had no contact with them. And so that seems weird. Yeah, I agree with you. I don't know. I don't know why you say both.
Yeah, like
I'm not going to say anything, but I'm not in it.
Yeah. But I think, I don't know. Like, if we're doing the thing that we've been doing with these Deadpool rumors over under 50, I say he's got to be over. Like,
yeah,
you have the opportunity to put two Professor X's on screen at once. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, but what is the budget for this film?
I don't know.
Right? Like,
I don't know. Maybe their sets are going to look atrocious, but because they didn't spend any money on it.
Cameos are not free.
This is, I don't know. Brad Pitt showed up for a coffee.
I assume he still got paid.
Brad Pitt showed up for a coffee.
Yeah, but I assume he still got paid. That's the story
that he tells. So I don't know. Maybe Ryan's got dirt on everybody in Hollywood, and they're all just showing up so that he doesn't spread their rumors on the internet.
Brad Pitt was paid a cup of coffee plus $956 for his 3-second cameo in Deadpool 2.
So like nothing to hang out on set all day.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you can get people to come do cameos for less than $1,000 and a cup of Joe.
Big name. Like, I say that's nothing. Like, that's a lot of money for a day's work. But for Brad Pitt,
but not for not in pennies. Context. Yeah, not in the context of what we're talking about.
Yeah.
I still say under 50%. I say there's like a 40% chance maybe that he shows up. But he was also in the last one, so I wonder then if it's like, you know, is having him show up kind of a been there, done that?
I don't
know.
With where it seems like they're going with this story, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right, moving on to our final story. Talking about big money, talking about people in films, big names, and people that are probably going to get paid a lot of money to do movies. I'm going to set the stage here. Up until maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I had never seen the 1980s, I guess, 90s film Top Gun. And it's one of those weird things. People call, and I guess maybe it is the proper pronunciation when people
86.
say Top Gun. They say, oh, you know, the movie Top Gun. I'm like, no, it's Top Gun. I don't know why. There's like this inflection. Is that a thing? How do you say it? How do you say Top Gun?
Top Gun.
Right. Oh, yeah, see, but then you pause a little bit. You've got the pause.
Do I?
I say it like it's one. You say it like
it is
you and
words.
Many other people. Nah, yeah, I know. But I say it like it's just one title.
Right.
Instead of
it's
saying
one
like,
title,
oh, it's
but
the
2 words.
Yeah, see, I say just Top Gun. And as opposed to like an adjective and a noun, which is Top Gun. I say it's Top Gun. Whatever. I'm probably wrong. I admit that.
I think you're wrong.
I'm sure I am, but that's just how I say it.
But I don't think anybody.
So there's only a couple.
I think this is another thing that you're the only one that notices the difference.
No, that's not. Let us know in the comments. Listen, it was only a couple years ago that I watched Top Gun, and
now you're
and at the time. And at the time, I was like, you know, I didn't grow up with it, so the nostalgia factor wasn't there, blah, blah, blah. I watched it, and I was like, yeah, okay. Yeah, it was good. Sure. But I missed the boat, right? I missed the boat on it, so I'm not super hyped about it. And I watched it in anticipation or in preparation with a podcast, whatever, so that Pete and I could go watch Top Gun Maverick. And Top Gun Maverick was breathtaking, emotional, tear-jerking, just incredible. That's how you do a sequel 35 years later. Like, it was just nuts. And not only from like a film watching standpoint, but everything that I knew about the production and how they actually shot this and the cameras that were developed to go into the cockpit and the actors that had to learn to fly the jets and like just amazing, right? That this one film shot more footage than was shot for the entirety of the Lord of the Rings trilogy. It's nuts. It's nuts. They had something like 900 hours worth of footage for this film. It's nuts. And Top Gun Maverick came out as, and it was very much marketed as, I didn't say it on the poster, but it was, you know, the era or the atmosphere around Top Gun Maverick was, this is Maverick's swan song. They're coming back. We're going to put a nice big stamp on Maverick's story and show you where he's at all these years later, and you know, kind of throw back to his relationship with Goose and now his Goose's son, and it's going to be this really nice kind of well packaged story. But then Top Gun Maverick made all the money. Not just a lot of money. It made all the money. And when a movie makes all the money, a studio goes, huh, what about another one? We like money. We like the money that this one made us. Why don't we make another one? And that is exactly what is happening because it has now come out. It is official. Top Gun 3. Top Gun 3 starring Tom Cruise. Still produced by Paramount, even though Tom Cruise is over at Warner Brothers because, well, Paramount owns Top Gun still. Yeah. But soon Warner Brothers may own Paramount, so it won't matter anyways. A third Top Gun movie's coming, and it's going to start shooting, and it's in pre-production, and here comes another adventure from Maverick. And I don't know at this point what you even do. Like, do I think it makes good business sense to do a Top Gun Maverick or a Top Gun Maverick 2, a Top Gun 3, whatever you want to call it? Obviously. And it's strange for me to be saying this next part as someone who didn't feel emotionally attached to or nostalgically fond of Top Gun prior to, like, ever. I've never felt that way about it. Top Gun Maverick has just got a really nice bow on it. It's just got a really nice bow. And so now as a fan of Top Gun, I'm like, I don't know if I want another one. Right? Like I just, the relationship was patched with him and Rooster and everything's good. And he's going to go after that girl and continue to sneak in and out of windows and get thrown out of bars and whatever. Like, he's going to settle down and do the family thing. And that's all cool and fine. And it's nice. It's nice. And I just don't know, part of what made Top Gun Maverick so special was not just how beautiful it was to look at, but that it mirrored a lot of moments. It had a lot of the same beats that Top Gun had, right? There was a lot of like, this is the answer. This is the partner. This couples so well with the first one. Well, you can't do that a third time. You can't play Great Balls of Fire a third time in the bar. You just can't. Before people turn on you and go, well, this is stupid. What are you doing? So I don't know. I don't know where you go. I don't know how you do a Top Gun 3. I saw someone talking about it online. It's like, okay, well, Top Gun 3, it's 10 years later. And Maverick is now retired. And he's the pilot of a commercial, he's like Trans Am or, whatever. He's flying passenger airlines. And terrorists try to take over and you're like, oh, that could kind of be fun, but also wouldn't feel like Top Gun. So I don't know. I don't know where you go. I think it makes good business sense, especially if you can get Glenn Powell and Miles Teller and the whole gang back. I think this time, like Meg Ryan's still alive. Get Meg Ryan in there. I mean, you can't because they killed off her character, but I don't know. I just don't know. I understand why you do it, but I don't understand how you do it with a good, clean conscience, not going like, we're going to F this up though. Like we're going to tarnish the story. Carl, what are your thoughts? Are you a big Top Gun fan? And either way, regardless of whether or not, maybe you hate Top Gun. I don't know. What are your thoughts on a third one? Does this make sense? Do you want it? Are you thirsty for more Top Gun? Or are you like, you know what? That was a nice, clean, beautiful, tied up with a bow ending and just leave it where it is.
I think, well, I guess first question, fan of Top Gun. Yep. I watched the first one a number of times growing up, and I would say I really enjoyed it. I haven't seen the second one yet.
What?
Yeah, I thought that would shock you.
Did I just spoil it for you? Have I ruined Top Gun Maverick for you?
No. It's not, for me, it's not one of those films that could be spoiled.
All right. Well, in March, you come over and we'll watch it.
I mean, it's on Netflix. I'll probably
but like,
I might watch.
Yeah,
it
but
then.
we'll be able to watch movies louder at my place than you watch them at your place. And I also have a TV that you don't have to get in behind and crank
be more
in order to turn it on.
When we played video games the other night, I got yelled at for being too loud.
For being too loud. Yeah, and I didn't think you were being that loud.
In my defense, I had headphones on and I couldn't hear the sound of my own voice. So,
can I tell you something? 2 nights ago, I bumped into your wife in Walmart.
Yeah, I knew that.
Did she tell you this?
Yeah.
And she was like, "What are you doing in town?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm like working in town. Or like I've started, blah, blah, blah." And I said, "Carl knows this." And your wife was like, "Oh, well, Carl doesn't tell me anything unless I specifically ask him." So she just like threw you under the bus, man.
She knew that.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
I don't know why she said that, because she knew that, because we were all at the same birthday / Christmas party for you together when you announced it.
Well,
so
yeah, well, maybe I don't know. Did you piss her off?
To her credit,
she was just taking a stab at you.
She's forgetful about things she doesn't care about.
Oh, so you're getting dangerous. You're in dangerous territory here. Don't be talking about the woman's memory.
No, she'll admit it. That was more of a dig at you, and you missed it, though.
I'm gonna soundbite this and send it to her.
Go for it, dude. I wish I had her memory when it came to films. I kind of do. So I kind of do, because I like remembering little nitty gritty details about different kind of films and pop culture.
Right.
But she'll watch a film and she can go back to that film a year later and not remember a damn thing about it.
Oh, yeah. So it's like watching amazing movies again.
Going back and watching like a good M. Night Shyamalan film and being like, "What? He's dead?"
Yeah.
Like over and over. That would be so great to relive those moments.
Yeah, but then you also wouldn't be able to remember which were the good M. Night Shyamalan movies, because it is a crapshoot.
That's true. There are some downsides to this.
There'd be a lot of disappointment.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah.
But Top Gun. Should we make another one? What do we?
Oh yeah, we're talking about Top Gun. I mean, I haven't seen the second one. If it tied up with a nice little bow, I think that they shouldn't. I've talked enough about my feeling on sequels and remakes that I think that I'd probably, if I watched the second one, I would probably come to the same conclusion that I would normally that you have come to, and that why don't you just make a different army movie about fighter jets and call it something completely different than Top Gun, instead of automatically forcing your movie to be compared to something great?
Well, I think the answer to that would be because then you can't use the box office bankability of Tom Cruise unless you put Tom Cruise in it, in which case everyone's just going to view it as
a Top Gun
ripoff. Yeah.
Which, yeah. And that's really that's why this film isn't being made for art's sake. It's being made for money's sake.
It's what every film, except for an independent, like we've spent no money on this, and it's the movie business, man. It's show business, not show friends.
Business. Yeah, show business is about money, but there is still an art to film. Like,
right.
Let's jump back to Adam Sandler and we were talking about Uncut Gems. That is a great kind of artistic film by Adam Sandler.
Right.
It's
artistic, but it was still, it would not have been greenlit if they didn't think it would be successful.
Absolutely. Like the film's got to be good to be greenlit, right? But that again, that doesn't mean that they're not that art isn't in them.
But also, Uncut Gems was also a low-budget film. Which is what I said the exception was, right? Like, I just looked it up. Uncut Gems was made for $19 million.
Netflix one. Wasn't it? Oh, no, it went to theaters.
Yeah, it was made for $19 million, right? So nobody makes $100 million film if not to try to make $1 billion in return. It just is what it is, and it upsets a lot of fans, right? Be like, oh well, this is not what I. Okay, it's like, yeah, but so that didn't make good business sense.
Let's take a beloved franchise of yours and put it under this.
Okay.
For money or for art microscope.
Okay.
The Titanic by James Cameron.
What for money or for art? You're not going to make a sequel to Titanic.
No, I'm talking about the original.
Money.
So he made that film for money, not for art.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a director, see, there's a difference, right? You're talking about director versus studio. No studio is going to make a film for art.
But director doesn't care. Studio doesn't make the project. They fund the project.
Right. But it's still not made unless they greenlight it. Right. So a director. Right,
but they're greenlighting somebody's art. Like a screenwriter puts their heart and soul into a screenplay and they bring it to the studio and the studio looks at it and they go, this is crap. We're not going to fund this. Or they go, we can make some money off this.
Right.
And then that doesn't make it any less art because somebody looked at it and said, there's money to be made in this.
I agree. But what we're talking about, because we don't know the director for Top Gun 3, right? Joseph Kosinski did Top Gun Maverick, right? And so we don't know if he'll come back or if it'll be someone different. What we're talking about, because we don't know who the director for Top Gun 3 is going to be, is Paramount greenlighting and putting forth into production. Because a film like Top Gun, right? There's a difference between a film where a director has a script and they're going to go around and pitch it to people, right? And that's usually not a sequel. That's usually like a new idea versus a sequel, which is a studio, right? It's like Marvel, right? Marvel knows they're going to make a Shang-Chi 2.
Right.
Regardless
they're
of whether
something before
they have a director,
script,
before there's a script, and that's likely what's happening with something like Top Gun 3. They're like, we're gonna make a Top Gun 3.
That's being made for money. There's no qualms about it. They're gonna hire somebody to write something that's going to make them money because they're working back. In terms of a creative process. They're working backwards.
Right.
And which could be argued why that it could be argued that that's why one of the reasons Marvel and Star Wars have gotten themselves into the fun pickle they've gotten themselves into.
Well, you bring up Star Wars, right? So George Lucas, the director, the writer, director, whatever, they're in it for art. Right? Because a writer gets paid, a director gets paid, regardless of how well the film does. That's why some films lose money.
Yeah.
Because people get paid whether or not the film does well. It's a studio that stands to gain or lose. Now, nobody believed in Star Wars. And that's why George Lucas had to fund Star Wars, because everyone's looking at Star Wars going, that's not going to make any money. Now, they were stupid and everyone ended up being wrong.
Well, and they cut a deal where like George Lucas signed off all rights to X, Y, and Z to retain rights to the property itself.
So there's a big difference. What I'm saying is no studio makes a movie. No studio puts out a movie unless they think it's going to make money. Independent films do films strictly for artistic reasons because they're not a part of a studio. It's an independent film. It's an indie film, right? Sometimes Netflix will put out content. We've talked about this before, right? That Netflix isn't making money off a lot of the things that they're putting out because their whole structure is based on new people signing up to the platform, right? That's why That's why you have widely successful shows on Netflix that everybody's watching. But after the second season, it doesn't matter that everybody who's already on the platform is watching it. It's not bringing in anybody new. And so they cancel the show to make room for other new shows that they think will bring in new people. Right? Now, the director doesn't give two shits. The director doesn't care whether or not lots of people are going to watch this. I mean, he hopes because it's his art and he wants the world to see it. But the director's already negotiated his salary for this. Right? And so he's able to focus on the artistic.
Cases that he's not doing it for as much art reason as money reasons either.
Right. Yeah. But anyways, doesn't matter. Top Gun 3 makes good business sense. Absolutely. Yeah. People are going to go watch it. It's, it is what it is. But I don't know if it makes sense to further that story.
No, I don't think so.
Well, that's it. That's the news.
That's it. That's all. Go home.
Yeah. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure you check out our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all listed below. We have a Patreon page, which was mentioned already earlier in the show that we just cashed out our Patreon. Thank you so much to our current Patreon supporters. And, to pull back the curtain and to be transparent about where those funds are going, they're going to go into the bettering and sound dampening of the new podcast studio in March, which will, make the show sound better. And be more fun and enjoyable all around. So, thank you so much. And we have a merch page.
Yeah, and there's some new stuff on there. Some cool new stuff. Go check it out.
Yeah. There's stickers and fridge magnets and children's baseball. Was it baseball tee? No, it's like a
football tee.
Football tee. Yeah.
Kind of a new logo thing going on, which I like over the other logo.
You like the sort of graphic
the VHS.
You like that?
Busy.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the other one's just a fun. The other one, the sort of fancy, like not even graffiti. I don't know what, like cursive.
No, it's just got like lots of lines, and it almost looks like a tattoo.
Lots of, and that one's never been an official. That one's never been an official logo of the show. We had a good listener for a very long time on the show named Andrew, who lives in... Oh, I'm going to butcher this. It's either Indonesia or somewhere, some like Southeastern Asian country. And he does graphic design. And he was just a big fan of the show, and he reached out one time, and he was like, "Hey, look, I've made some fun, cool designs. Here, do what you want with them." And we said, like, "You're cool if we stick this on shirts and stuff." And he's like, "Yeah, go for it." Yeah, the guy's awesome, super awesome. So, but anyways, so check all that out. And until next week, when we will be reviewing. We'll finally get around to What If next week. We'll talk about, I'm
away next week.
You're away next week? You bastard.
Yeah. Maybe we can do it later in the week. Maybe it'll be a late episode.
We'll figure that out. Well, maybe if it's later in the week, we can do it in person. We'll see. We'll talk about What If season 2. We'll talk about what if season 2 was good. What if?
What if it was good, or what if it's going to be good? What?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
We're going to talk about what our thoughts on it are.
And soon we'll talk about Echo. I gotta jump on the Echo train here. Have you watched Echo yet?
I watched the first episode, and I have been stalling on watching all further because you always get all anal about that, and I thought I'm so sick of hearing him whine like a little bee.
All right. Well, we're going to start Echo soon. We're going to start it. I appreciate it. You're after 15 years or whatever, you're a good friend. You're a good friend now. We're going to do that.
Did it.
We'll talk more news. And then there was No, it didn't matter what option won the 1990 vote. You wanted to be in on it this time, right?
I mean, I think we should do all of them.
Well, we can't do all. There is a winner. A winner's been decided by the people.
Fun.
Yeah. So maybe I should tell you what it is so that A, you can do your homework and go watch it.
Yeah.
And B, the listener can get excited.
No, you can't reveal it here.
Why?
I don't know. That seems...
Pretty soon coming up, we have a review for Dick Tracy.
No way! Yes!
Yeah.
Love me some Dick Tracy.
So
I own that. I own it on DVD.
Make sure you keep your ears peeled for that.
I mean, I own pretty much all those films from that voting on DVD.
All right, say something clever to send us off, Carl.
Man.
No, I like it. That's good. That's great. Yep. No, that's a wrap.
Okay.